All right, let's jump right into a huge debate that's happening at the very core of the global halal industry. It's this fascinating clash, ancient tradition versus modern tech. And it all boils down to a really simple question. When we talk about halal meat, should it be a person doing the work or should it be a machine?
And right away, you can see this isn't just some technical argument about efficiency. This quote really gets to the heart of it. It's not about what's fastest, it's about Shariah. So we're talking religious law. It's about trust. Do you, the consumer, believe what you're being told? And ultimately, it's an integrity issue. It cuts to the very core of what halal even means. Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we have to look at it differently. This isn't just a simple choice between two different methods, like picking between two tools in a toolbox. Nope. This is a much, much deeper conflict. It's really about where we, as a community, draw the line between convenience and conviction. And this is where it all comes to a head. On one side, you've got the massive, relentless pressure from the modern food industry, right? It's all about being faster, cheaper, more efficient. Butting right up against that, you have the strict, non-negotiable demands of faith. And, well, that's where you get the sparks. That's the real tension. So, to really appreciate why this is such a flashpoint, we've got to go back to the beginning. Let's look at the baseline, the traditional standard that's been in place for centuries: hand slaughter. And what's really striking is just how clear and direct the traditional requirements are. It all comes down to these three pillars. First, you need a Muslim slaughterer. Simple enough. Second, the blessing, the Tasmiyah, has to be said for every single animal. Not once for a whole batch, but for each one. And third, the act itself has to be intentional. It's a conscious, deliberate act. You can see how personal and accountable this whole process is. Okay, so that's the traditional gold standard. Now, let's bring in the machines. This is where automation enters the picture, and this is exactly where things start to get really complicated for those time-honored principles. This comparison really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, with hand slaughter, you have words like intentional, verifiable, individual blessing. It's all about direct human involvement. But then you look at the concerns with machine slaughter. Automated, minimal oversight, inconsistent blessing. I mean, they're almost polar opposites in their approach. And this leads us to the first huge question. Think about it. Can a recording of the Tasmiyah, just playing on a loop, really truly carry the same weight as a person intentionally saying that blessing for each animal? Is it recording the same as a heartfelt intention? That's a massive religious and spiritual question. Then there's the accountability problem. With the traditional method, it's crystal clear who is responsible: the person holding the knife. But when you have a machine that's processing, hundreds, maybe thousands of birds an hour, where does that responsibility go? Who is ultimately accountable for each and every one of those lives? The line gets really, really blurry. And let's not forget the practical side of things. I mean, with so little human oversight, what happens if the machine isn't working perfectly? If a blade gets dull or something is misaligned? At those incredible speeds, how can anyone possibly guarantee that every single animal is cut according to the strict religious requirements? It's a huge issue for compliance. So you see, this isn't just some abstract debate for scholars. It has a real-world ripple effect. It spreads out and touches the entire halal industry, leading to what a lot of people are calling a full-blown crisis of confidence. And here's why. You've got this patchwork of standards all over the world. A product that's certified halal in one country might be totally forbidden in another because of this very issue. Imagine being a consumer trying to navigate that. It just creates so much confusion and, frankly, it damages the trust in the halal label itself. And look at what's really at stake here. For you, the consumer, it's your confidence that you're actually following your faith. For businesses, their entire reputation is on the line. And for the certifiers, they're accountable not just to the public, but to God. Seriously, everyone has skin in this game. The stakes couldn't be higher. So, what's the solution? Where do we go from here? Well, the argument being made is that the way forward isn't about finding a better machine, but about getting back to the foundational principles, the very heart of what halal is all about. And to really get that, we need to talk about a really important concept: tayyib. Now, we all know halal means permissible, but tayyib, that's a whole other level. It means something is not just allowed, but that it's good, pure, ethical, and wholesome. It's about the spirit of the law, not just the letter. And that, right there, is the core message.
The whole point of halal isn't just to tick a box and say, yep, it's permissible. It's about striving for that higher standard of tayyib, ensuring our food is produced with purity and a deep sense of responsibility. Which brings us to this incredibly powerful idea, really a challenge to the entire industry. When efficiency and faith are on a collision course, there's only one choice. The halal industry has to choose integrity. No exceptions, every single time. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. And it's bigger than just this one debate. This whole issue, it's a mirror reflecting a huge tension in our modern lives, isn't it? In this world that's obsessed with shortcuts, with making everything faster and easier, what's the real price we're paying for all that convenience? What are we giving up?